New Falls Count Anywhere here on Earnestly Podcast. I'm your host, Earnest, Christian. Of course, we do this every single week for the most part with our guy, one third of the Minor Wrestling Podcast, also as well as the host of the Rob the Genius Podcast, my guy, Rob the Genius. What up? What up?
Hey man, good to be back.
Yeah, man. A lot to talk about today. We are now officially on the road to Wrestlemania. You know? So now that the Elimination Chamber is in the back burner, I guess I'll ask you first real quick, and let's keep it simple. Rather than go through the matches, because everything that we thought would happen for the most part did happen. The only surprise really, Seth Rollins came back. Okay, whatever. Which I was great. It was actually great, but it's just that, okay, it is what it is. What was your big takeaway from the chamber?
So to me, the biggest thing. All right, so I mean that was one of the big takeaways. And I not surprised at Randy winning the men's chamber, because look, he's been my backup pick to win the chamber and the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised at all that he got one of them. And Rhea was pretty much Rhea was probably she was the the favorite to win regardless. And once her and Io lost the tag team belts on Friday, it was real obvious she was going to win. And then the other two matches, yeah, we knew Punk and AJ were winning. So I guess overall I gave it about, if I had to give it a grade, I'd give it a B. Personally,
the show.
Yeah, I thought it was a good show.
Okay.
And one good thing that I really it doesn't get mentioned is that they kept it to 3 hours.
They really did. But they've been good about that for the most part with these PLEs. I don't count SummerSlam. I don't count WrestleMania. I don't count the Big Four, even Money in the Bank. But they've done very well in the last 3 years, really, to be honest with you, keeping these things around 3 hours or less. They've done a good job with that, actually, I thought.
Oh, because sometimes I know, sometimes they've gone over.
Yeah.
Personally, if you're only going to have four, well, I guess for me, if you're only going to have 4 matches, then it should not be more than 3 hours.
Right.
And they've had some shows where they went a little bit longer. But I thought it was really good that they kept it to 3 hours and that they didn't bog us down with some extra long segment. Excuse me. Like last year, they had the whole thing with Rock and Cody after everything was over and all of that. So,
yeah. My takeaway is simple. It was a great work rate show. Matches are great. All 4 matches were great. All 4 matches had something to grab onto. AJ win the IC title. Great moment. Great match. Punk and Finn, great match. Punk winning that match. Obviously Rhea winning the women's chamber. No surprise there, but the way they did it was really cool. The men's chamber, I picked Cody winning the show, but I did say, we both did say that it's Cody and Randy.
Yeah.
One of those two guys. I was hoping for Trick to win, to be honest with you, but it was gonna happen though. But it's all, but the performance aspect, it was amazing, and it's all I can ask for, really, to be honest with you. I thought it was a really, really solid show. I gave it also a B+. because while it was anything consequential, really other than Seth Rollins returning, you know, um, it was a it was an entertaining show. It what it needed to be. It was good matches, kept me entertained. Now I did watch a show. I'm not proud to admit this, Rob, because as you guys know, I'm not a ESPN only
Uh-oh.
subscriber just yet, sir.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Were you flying the Jolly Roger this
yes, I
weekend?
was, brother. I texted you during the show and I told you, and I asked you, are you and DJ having buffering issues? You're like, nah, we're good. I'm like, oh, this is me then. I'm in the jungle. I'm in the jungle. I'm not on the illegal sites. And I got frustrated. Watching. I was like, fuck, I can't keep doing this shit. Um, what I may do, Rob, is I may actually bite the bullet just for April for WrestleMania, and just order the unlimited for the month, and then cancel after I'm done.
Well, because I mean, that's what. Because listen, I mean, their business goes up. Like, this is like the first third of the year, first quarter of the year is when they do their most business.
Yeah,
People watch. There are a lot of people who watch during WrestleMania season and pay for whatever, and then they check out most of the rest of the year. So
yeah, true. But I mean, I'm not one of those people. Like, I still watch even during the fall when football's back and basketball's back and baseball's winding down, and I'm into all sports. I'm still at least keeping an eye on what's going on, you know. But they're making it harder and harder for me to do that, and it's going to cost you. And again, I don't want to pay. I don't need ESPN. I already have ESPN. So if I'm paying $30 a month, it's literally for me just for the pay per views. And if that's the case, I'm not going to order pay per views then. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and now I don't know how I don't know how much of a lag time there is to them putting them on Netflix, right? Because because they put the older WWE PLEs on Netflix.
Okay, so for example, the Rumble from last month, it's on Netflix now.
Uh, I don't know. I haven't checked. That's the thing.
This is the issue. We brought this up last week about the library where it's going, and normally the protocol was whether it's Raw, SmackDown, for example, would go on the network 30 days after the event, right? That was the protocol back in the day. But now SmackDown is on USA. Raw is now on Netflix. We know Raw and Net Library obviously there. Where does SmackDown go, for example, Rob?
Oh well,
Episodes later on the road.
SmackDown's still on Peacock.
Even the episodes that's out now.
I think so.
Jeez. Okay.
Because yeah, I mean their deal with Peacock hasn't ended yet. I don't think so.
And this is the fucking problem, Rob, is that now, but once upon a time, we had, for the last 12 years, we had a hub to go to. Whether it was the network or Peacock, there was always a hub. Okay, all the stuff's here. You know what I'm saying? And now everything's fractured and splintered. Netflix has stuff. There's WWE Vaults, but it's also Peacock has some things, and ESPN now has things too. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, at what point do we say, okay, organize here, please? Where to find this shit? Because I'm not subscribing to all this fucking stuff. Now, I say that someone who does have Peacock, who does have other Netflix. I do have that, but I need. Why can't I get a one stop shop for all my content? For crying out loud.
Well, we'll probably
at least with the archive. At least with the archives. Ridiculous. It's just frustrating, dude.
yeah, it is. And I honestly, I just it is it is just it's frustrating as hell.
Yeah. I will say the Raw last night was a little more consequential. We have a new IC champion on the men's side. You saw that?
Yeah.
Fucking Dom lost the tie. That came out of nowhere. To Penta.
Well, now, well, I think the other thing is now, like the Danhausen thing didn't really go over great at the PLE, but what they did Monday night.
That
You
was
know,
awesome.
yeah, and like that's what he's there for. He's gonna do a little funny backstage stuff, right?
I'm annoyed by that too. To complain about it, like it is what it is, bro. Just enjoy the show.
It's again he does. That's what he's not going to get a half hour of time on TV.
No, he's not.
He's getting the little 5 minutes. He's gonna do silly stuff backstage, and so like last night, he put a curse on Dominic, right? And
Yeah,
and that's what that's part of his whole act, right? And
and that's the show.
if somebody like says something mean to him or whatever, he's like, "You are cursed," right? And then something bad will happen to them, right?
Yeah,
But that's all it is. It's just
it's a gimmick.
5 minutes. If
I was annoyed watching after the PLE, and I'm on the internet, and everybody's bitching about like, what are you complaining about? It's just a gimmick. It's just a spoof. Calm down.
and then like I guess for me, it's if you want to get, I mean, if you want to get irritated, like we don't need 20-minute monologues every
No.
week, right? Those can be shorter. Like if you want to get mad about something,
Mm-hmm.
you want to complain about something taking up time on television. Complain about how many 20-minute monologues we get where they could wrap it up in 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah. Like it's a gimmick. Calm down, guys. Like wrestling is supposed to be fun.
Yes.
Fun. Danhausen is fun. And it only requires not even 5 minutes. 2-3 minutes. That's all I need. I'm good.
And he's not going to win the world championship or something.
No.
Like it's not like I mean, come on.
Like calm down, bro. Seriously. Just a Raw last night. The biggest takeaway for me, of course, is the back and forth between CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
That shit got personal.
Yeah, and now what they're doing is it's a real kind of master class in incorporating real life stuff into the work. Right. I mean,
Absolutely.
and so I mean that's how you do it, right? I mean, because too many times when people try to do that, it goes off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's and probably I think a lot of times it's because one person or the other just says some things that were not talked about, and they just throw some stuff out there.
Yep.
And it just goes off the rails. But in this case, look, because both guys know everything that there is to know about the other one, and they know what people on the internet are saying about the other one,
mm-hmm.
and neither one of them, I mean, they weren't talking about their wives or children or anything,
Well, although Punk ended his whole thing.
Oh yeah, it's only bury you next to your father. I mean,
what was that bit about? Like his dad died, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, I mean, and of course, that opens the door for Roman to say some stuff about Punk's family. I think he's at the very least like estranged from his family or something.
Yeah, that'll probably come up tomorrow. That'll probably come up next week.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Well, I told you when when Roman won the Rumble, I told you like I'm not really excited about the match itself. It'd be a fine match. Like Punk has been surprisingly decent actually in ring, even in his late 40s. But I'm more excited about the build up to the match, as I said, and we're getting. And I think these next couple of weeks now, we're gonna get some really because these guys are Roman obviously on the stick now, especially as the post 2020 has been nothing short of amazing, and Punk of course is just Punk, So I think the build up to Mania is going to be amazing because but this match especially too also.
Yeah, and like this is WrestleMania. The build is as much of the whole thing as the actual match when we get it.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else on Raw happened last night that is important? I mean, obviously, that's channel change and the Punk Roman stuff. Didn't see anything else of importance I saw there.
Well, so Rollins stomped Paul Heyman.
Right, Bloody Pope. That whole thing
So,
was great too. By the way,
oh yeah, yeah.
and Ellie Knight in the ambulance. Right on the
So
ambulance.
now, I think there were so, and then it looks like we're going. It's Jimmy and Jay are going to be probably facing Logan Paul and Austin Theory. That'll
Yeah,
probably
by default, because no more members of the division are available now.
So now, and I'm guessing that maybe Braun Breaker will be back in time because there's no point bringing Seth back.
Yeah, exactly. It was pointless, honestly, because it goes nowhere. Like, okay, you can feud Paul Heyman, but what does that mean?
Yeah, if he has no opponent in the from the Vision, there's no point in bringing him back.
Right.
And then, so now I guess the only real question is, okay, so what's LA Knight's involvement going to be in all of this going forward?
Yeah, that was so good though. The ambulance.
Yeah, and then other than that, I mean, I think. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, nothing really big happened.
Femi and Rusev having
saw that. Yeah,
that
part.
week. That should be fun.
So yeah.
So I think quite like Oba Femi's going to be facing somebody at WrestleMania probably. Don't know who.
I like what Oba. They're slowly building him, slowly to the mid card, slowly, and then,
Well, I mean, yeah, and it's now, it can the whole road to WrestleMania. It can be kind of a slog now because February you just kind of have to kind of get through.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, also now with Mania being like mid to slightly late April now, normally it would be a little more like, okay, we have to speed this up now. It's we're getting to the point now where we gotta get this going. But now you have an extra like 3 weeks in April to build. So there's a lot of TV ahead of us, man. A lot of TV ahead of us now to figure out.
Well, but I guess that cuts both ways, though. You have more time, but that also means you have to fill more time.
Yeah.
And there does come a point where we just need to go where we just need to get to the show already.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'm there with you. All right, you sent me this last week. It was the annual WWE revenue chart from pretty much the Vince years, from 84 to last year. And we talk a lot about the business of the WWE a lot in the show, about what they're doing and what the decisions they make based on money and business and whatnot, streaming, you name it. Then you sent this to me last week. I'm like, I want to talk about this on the show. How do you want to present this? Because I'm very fascinated by the numbers here you have. I'll actually put it on the screen for some of the listeners here and the viewers here on YouTube.
And this came from WrestleNomics, and I think they just did like FOIA requests. Because a lot of this stuff is just, they had to file stuff and everything, So, the biggest, if you look at it, it's kind of almost like a map of just the history. What we saw on screen kind of lines up with the numbers, really, because there's a big jump from 84 to 85, and 85 was when they had the first WrestleMania.
Right.
They go
big jump there.
Yeah, and there's a big jump from 87 to 89. They go up $50 million between 1987 and 1989, and that's when the Mega Power story started in 87. It ran through 1989. Business really started to boom. They started having like 3 different house show tours, and
you look at those numbers, and we do this a lot in the show. Just to look at the numbers from between 84 and 92 is empty actually.
Well,
Okay, 84, 91.
Yeah.
This numbers here. If you one of those idiots that sit there and say Hulk Hogan is on Mount Rushmore, you're an idiot. Those numbers tell you differently. The company was built around Hulkamania in 84, 91. That's the peak of Hulkamania.
I mean, they went.
Look at the numbers going up, and up.
They went from $29 million in 1984
63.
just in a year. That's
Yeah,
over.
that's right.
They more than doubled their money in 1 year, and then by the time at the peak, 1990 was when it peaked. That's basically 5 times as much money as they were making when Hulkamania started.
Right.
Okay.
And of course, you see
before, and that's before the days of like mega TV deal or whatever.
Correct.
They quintupled their money off of basically having Hulk Hogan. Building around Hulk Hogan, they quintupled their money.
Yep.
Building around Hulk Hogan. And look, that was most of that was, and that was before pay-per-view even was a big deal.
Correct.
Because they didn't have more than like 3 or 4 in 1990 they had 4 pay-per-views, I think.
1990 had only 4, yes, correct.
So that wasn't, that was before monthly pay-per-views.
Yep.
That was before big TV deals.
So data house shows. This is house shows, 4 pay-per-views, and TV, and 5 stand-up main events a year.
And
that is it.
And the TV money was syndication money, and which wasn't that much.
Right.
Because the whole point of syndication was you gave people your stuff cheap, so that you could get your show on all across the country.
Right.
So you didn't make a whole lot of money off TV back then. So this was off of house show gates and no more than 4 pay-per-views in 1 year. So no big TV deals, no Saudi money,
right?
No pay-per-view, no streaming money,
right?
This was just tickets, basically.
People that jump at 87 88 too. Also, that's post WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
Another jump, 89, and then from 88, 89, that's Mega Powers 90. Then of course 90, 91, momentum continues. Hogan Warrior, yeah, Hulkamania years. Again, that proves once again that he's a Mount Rushmore. He's the greatest of all time. Okay, now you see the lean years in the 90s, of course.
And then look what happens now, and because in 93 he was still around for a little while. 94 he was totally gone, and look at how much things fell off.
Yep. And stayed off for a good 3-4 years until
they didn't go back up until 98 when Austin blew up.
Yep. And then of course a bigger room in 99 because Austin and Rock are cooking at this point now. Attitude Era was in full motion. This is during the peak of the Monday Night Wars, and it really just picks up and continues to pick up. By 2001, 2002, Ruthless Aggression Era starts, and then they no more competition, of course, by WCW, of course, and then but in comparison, there's some lean years between 03 and 05. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As they adjust, And
then Cena took off, and then and then it went up for a few years, and then they hit that stretch where
it went up. Yeah, it went up from 05 to 8, went down to 9. Because they adjusted it to the PG era.
Yeah, no.
9 10, yeah.
They had some big retirements or big losses starting in like 08, right?
Right.
But then it's been going up ever since like 2012, and now in the more recent year.
Right. You don't see a bigger jump, though, until 15 and 16 when you see the bigger jump.
Yeah. And then that might just be inflation, or it might be that's when the WWE network started. They were getting
correct. 14 started, so yes, to your point.
Yeah. And then in 2018 is when they started signing the big TV deals.
Right. And then they continued in 19. They kind of stabilized a little bit, It was still good money, but stabilized a little bit. And then the horse 2020, 2021 is when the 2021 post COVID, Peacock deal, the whole nine is when they really picked up again. And
Yeah,
they haven't let up since.
And then you throw in the Saudi money and all that stuff too, and so
yeah.
So look,
but
it's very much of how things are going at the top, basically.
Yep. And
that's really what
I always say people have different Rushmores for different reasons. And you probably agree with me on this too. Also, my Mount Rushmore is all determined by the economics. Who was the company built around at the peak of their powers? That's Hogan. That's Austin. And you can still say Rock, because Rock, because again, everyone's special. And Cena. And I guess you can make a case for Roman at this point now. Although
now it's Roman. And
the only thing I will say with Roman that makes it a little more strange is that because the way they're structured as a company now, yes, is Roman the number one guy? Yes, he is. But it's different now because it's not about one guy anymore. But I will still get the Roman because that 2020 on that bloodline storyline just really took off, and it carried the company for a good 3-4 years. So Roman will get in that conversation too as well. But yeah, I'm glad it sends me, man. It's really good to see the actual numbers.
And there's still a big difference between when Roman is there and when he's not.
Oh, no question.
So even though yes, you have Cody and you have Randy Orton and and others, but there's a difference when Roman is there.
Yeah. Did you hear the good news, Rob? Demolition is going to be done to the Rock and Roll, not to WWE Hall of Fame. And I noticed when I texted you that you didn't respond to me.
No,
you did. You didn't respond to me.
Well, we waited long enough. I mean, they, well, look, the real genuine article got in a long time ago. So, so I guess they can throw these guys a bone. No, in all seriousness, they were one of the. If you're making a ranking of just WWE tag teams,
they're top 10 easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
You can argue their peak. Now, granted, I compare it to Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson had a 4-year peak between 86 and 90, where he was just so dominant. And then when he fell off, he fell hard. Demolition had kind of a similar similar situation where 87 to 90, dominant tag team, dominant. And then once they brought in the third guy, they were done. Once Axe got hurt, they were done.
So, yeah, no, also, and then Hawk and Animal came over that same year. So
yeah. I saw something too. Also, that first off, Demolition is going to be joining AJ Styles and Step McMahon into the Hall of Fame. I saw something else to do about Repo Man, possibly getting else to do. Repo Man. Is this true?
Because Smash from Demolition, he's Repo Man.
Oh, right. But is he getting in? Okay. That was a joke. That was a joke then. My friend sends a text me. That's probably a joke then. That's that's funny. But yeah, I'm really excited about this, man. This is actually a really cool thing, a cool moment for Demolition. And look, they would have gotten in. They would have gotten in years ago, honestly. But they sued the company for was it Star Wars stuff?
That was concussions.
Yeah. Years ago,
they were part of like a class action suit against the company over like some
right. So that's why they never got in. So, but now that's all in the past. Now I'm glad they're gonna get the just due, and there's that. All right, a couple more things to get you out of here, buddy. This year is also the 40-year anniversary of WrestleMania 2, which I think you saw live, right? You saw it in real time, obviously, right?
They showed it on. I think they licensed it out or whatever, but it was actually on cable. Like maybe like 6 months after the live pay-per-view broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
They licensed it out to one of the cable channels.
Right.
And I watched it there. So I I didn't see it live, like the night of the show, but I
Right.
watched it maybe like 6 months later, and
Okay.
I watched it like 100 times, and it was the first WrestleMania I actually watched.
Okay. 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 Well, it took place April 7th, 1986 in 3 locations: Uniondale, New York, Rosemont, Illinois, and LA, because LA, California, of course, at the Nassau Coliseum, the Rosemont Horizon, and LA Memorial Sports Arena. Combined attendance 40,085. The tagline was the premier sporting event of the year. What has the world come to? Damn, Vince, that's the way too many 20 things. So here's the from the New York show. You had Paul Orndorff defeating Don Morocco in a double count out. No, it was double count out. Sorry about that. Randy Savage beats George Steele for the IC title. Yeah, Jake Roberts beating George Wells, and Mr. T defeating Roddy Piper by DQ. That was the New York show. Of course, the Chicago show had Fabrice Moolah beating Velvet McIntyre. Yeah, Corporal Kirchner defeating Nikolai Volkov. Andre Giant winning the Battle Royal, NFL Battle Royal by eliminating Bret Hart. And then the British Bulldogs winning the tag titles over the Dream Team of Dynamite Kid. No. I'm sorry, of Bruce Beefcake and Greg Valentine. And then the LA Sports Arena show, 4 matches. We had Ricky Steamboat defeating Hercules. We had Adrian Donis defeating Uncle Elmer. We had a tag team match between Terry and Haas Funk, the Funk brothers beating Tito Santana and the Junkyard Dog. And of course, the main event of all main events, Hulk Hogan defeating King Kong Bundy for the world title in the steel cage. All right, 3 different locations. You look back at this show, not a show that many people pan. What do you when you see this matches and you see this event, what comes to your mind now, 40 years later?
Okay, so when I first watched it, I was 12 years old, and I thought it was like the greatest thing in the world.
Right.
It has not aged well.
Not even close.
No. So in the main event in the New York show was Piper and Mr. T it was a worked boxing match.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if you go look at it now, it looks terrible.
It does. It's horrible.
It looks terrible. Okay. And the idea of a worked boxing match is bad enough. Right. I mean, we're not talking about like a movie scene like Rocky or something. These are 2 guys who yeah, I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
And then, and then in the DQ because Roddy Piper didn't do any jobs.
Of course, as we know, he does not do that. He didn't do Hogan either.
And it was just an accepted thing that Roddy doesn't do jobs.
Yeah.
And there's your prime example. Now the Battle Royal was good, and they had a lot of NFL players in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, Fridge was there.
Yeah,
he took a nice bumps also too in that match. Fridge.
Yeah, and so and they actually took time to build up some heat between the NFL guys and like Big John Studd,
right,
and all of that. But Andre was in there. He was in there with the Hart Foundation. Brett and Neidhart at the end.
Yeah,
and he threw both of them out. But it was then like if you look at that, like he was barely holding on at that point.
Yeah.
So you can just look at how he was moving around at the end of the match, and you understand why they did Hogan Andre the next year, because they had to do it.
Yeah.
Like his health, I mean, his condition was starting to slip already, and they had to get to it before, while he could still, get through a singles match.
Yeah. No,
the tag team title match was a good match.
That was a good match. Actually, yes.
The main event, the Hogan Bundy cage match, was a good match.
This is also like
the card was just a lot of the card was.
This is also the end of Andre's. I think he go a couple more months, but this is like the end of his baby run too. Also,
yeah, because
obviously he'll go away. Come back to heel a year later. The Savage Steel match is a mess. I mean, it's what it is. It is what it is. It's probably the worst match of the bunch they've done in those couple of years.
Yeah, and I was really angry about the Morocco Orndorff match.
Why?
Because both of those guys used the pile driver for their finisher.
Okay.
Neither one of them tried it during the match, and they both got counted out.
Mm.
That stinks. Okay.
Right. No, I feel. I feel you.
Okay. Because I mean, the kind of the hook was the match. Well, they both because they both use a power driver for their finisher. Who's going to get it and who's going to win? And neither one of them even tried it, and they both got counted out, and that just stinks. Um, and
You know what I hate
then
about these? You know what I hate about these manias too. Also, these early manias, that most of the matches outside the main event and maybe one or two matches were consequential. Most matches are filler. Like even WrestleMania 3, outside Savage, Steamboat, Hogan, Andre, and I'll give you King against who did he lose to? King on the race against Junkyard Dog. Most of the matches were filler matches.
yeah, and then Piper
Same
and
WrestleMania too. Yeah, Piper, right? Piper match. That's it.
But yeah, it was a lot of filler. I mean, they had Jake Roberts in a squash match, basically.
Right.
He's George Wells.
And he just got to the company about like literally like a month or two before this.
Yeah, and then the women's match was like 2 minutes long, and that was at the point where, like, look, I mean, Moolah had. We know now that she did some
Yes.
really bad things,
Really bad.
and that's putting it lightly. But she essentially, for all intents and purposes, she killed women's wrestling in the United States.
Yep.
Because what she was doing, because how she was carrying
Sure
on.
did. Sure did.
She basically killed women's wrestling in the United States. Because I mean, as more people found out what she was doing, nobody wanted to work with her. And
I will say I think this WrestleMania probably had the most, if not second most, celebrities involved.
oh yeah, they were all over the place.
Elvira, Rick Charles, Rick Schroeder, Attitude Total, yeah, like every athlete under the sun there. I mean, yeah, a lot of people there. Tom Lasorda was there. Lots of people. The Hogan Bunny match. This one is
I mean,
great.
it was like basically going to see a house show match, basically.
Yeah,
but
Hogan Bunny in '88 on main event was better, in my opinion.
Well, look, I mean, I was 12 years old, and I bought into the whole thing where, where Bundy injured Hogan and all of that.
Yeah, of course. No, I agree.
But yeah, I mean, it has not aged well as a show.
Not at all. It's actually, in my opinion, bottom 3, 5 WrestleManias, and it's definitely to me one of the most probably the least watched Mania. I think for me personally, I think I watched WrestleMania 11 more and watched this one. I watched WrestleMania 1 more than this one probably. Honestly. It was a success still financially. It earned $5 million. They had lots of subscribers to this thing. But again, it just doesn't age well. That's what it comes down to, really, more than else. But it is what it is. But WrestleMania 2, again, it's part of the lineage of what we have today. So yeah. All right. One more thing before I get you out of here. This is something I actually had saved for you for last week, but then we didn't cover it. But a new game. One Must Go Forever. Okay.
Right.
I have 4 guys here on the screen. If it can come up real quick. 4 guys. All right. 4 guys. Arguably my watch 4 guys. Here you go. You have Roman Reigns. You have The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and John Cena. Which career would you delete and not exist and be okay with that of these 4 guys?
Wow.
This is tough. This is tough, right?
Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. So. Personally, I missed most of Cena's run when it happened.
Right.
So, as far as if we're talking about like getting rid of one based on how much I watched, it would be Cena because I didn't see any of it until 2012, really.
Right. You missed the first, like, literally 10 years.
Yeah. So whereas I've seen, but if you're asking me which one could the company have survived the most without, crazy as it sounds, I would say Rock,
I agree. I agree with you.
because there is no Attitude Era without Austin.
Right.
Um, and then Cena is the one who pulled them out when things fell off after Austin retired.
Mm-hmm.
Cena was the one who pulled him back up. So you need him. And then Roman is the one that pulled them up to where they are now.
Yep.
So whereas, Rock came along, Rock blew up like a year after Austin did. And he basically built on what Austin started. But, if we're talking about just business and survival of the company and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because Rock's because Rock and Austin overlapped each other, and Austin is the one who started it all. You gotta, because if Austin hadn't blown up, then even as whatever happened with the Rock wouldn't have been anywhere near as consequential.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, there's an argument that John Cena is more important to the company than The Rock is, legacy wise. There's an argument
Um,
for that. In fact, it
yeah,
might be true. It might be true actually. Now I think about it.
because he had a longer run at the top. Rock. Okay, he became. I would say because Austin at their peak they were like co-number one, but Rock didn't get there until 1999,
And only have
and
and
then
I only have because Austin got hurt too. Also,
yeah, so and then they both left at the same time. They both left in 2003.
yeah, Austin was always the anchor. Austin was always the anchor. There was
Yeah,
really, and not only that, there was really outside of the 1 year when Austin was gone in '99 to 2000. There was never really a time where The Rock was the number one guy for more than that time.
right.
You know, it was always Austin. It was always Austin, and even when he came back in 2012, it was still Cena's show, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So, and this is again, when I say this, I don't want Rocky fans to start getting all mad at me. I love The Rock. He's my top 3, 4 favorite wrestlers of all time. But I'm calling spade for spade here. We're talking about business here. Okay,
yeah.
building the company around someone's name and an image. You don't get The Rock with Austin. End the discussion. The Austin literally, and this is something you and I argued with Duke about this, like I think last year on the podcast, and he kept saying, "Oh no, it's Rock." No. You don't get to delete Austin because he only had 5 years. Those 5 years saved the company. Those 5 years, you don't have WWE most likely if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So that you don't get to use that as you only five. No, it's the most important 5 years in history of wrestling. It changed everything.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
they had no top guy before Austin. When Austin took off, they tried with Brett and it wasn't enough to, you know, they tried with, Sean and it wasn't really enough. If Austin didn't take off, if they had to keep going with Brett and Sean versus the NWO, they would have never turned anything around.
Right.
Okay. Austin blowing up is what turned around the Monday Night War.
Exactly. I will say this much though: if this question was broached 4 years ago, 5 years ago, hell, even 3 years ago, the answer is Roman Reigns. But now we have 6 years post 2020 of Roman Reigns of a sample. You have the first 6 years between 2014 and 2020. When I go 2012 is fine, but when he went solo, post Shield into 2020, yes, the first 6 years of Roman Reigns, which was obviously polarizing. Okay, but then you have this next six now between 2020 and 2026. that saves him from this argument. Now, if you ask me, if this time was broached 3-4 years ago, I would have said Roman Reigns because there's not enough time yet. But now, Roman can't go.
No.
We've seen enough now in the last 6 years to say, okay, yeah, Roman's gonna stay. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, before the tribal chief stuff happened.
Yeah.
I mean, Roman was kind of in the same league with Brett and Shawn, basically.
Yes, he was. That's correct.
Where he was the top guy, and the company was surviving, and they were profitable even.
Yeah.
But they weren't really thriving, right?
Right.
But the tribal chief thing, that changed everything, and that took them to where they are now.
And I think also too the fact that he's a heel made him more impressive for me. Well, at least most was a heel. Should I say? Not 4 or 6 years was a heel.
Yeah.
You know, because the only other guys I can think of that was the top guy in the company as a heel, Hogan, even NWO, and then Ric Flair.
Yeah.
That's it. Who else you can think of that was a heel that was the guy?
And they had that long run.
And thriving. Because Shawn Michaels was a heel, but Shawn Michaels was not doing the numbers that these guys are doing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's a big difference. So that's what puts Roman in the conversation now, is that doing it for 6 years, doing it as a heel, and still sustaining this now 6 years later. It was COVID did a lot for his career. Go ahead, you want to say?
Yeah, because you have to structure everything so differently when your heel is the top guy. When the top guy's a heel,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to do it with like the fans understand. Well, the fans aren't going to get a happy ending.
Yeah.
Like if there's a world title match at the end of the show, they're not going to get a happy ending because the heel champion is going to win.
Right.
Or they're going to get disqualified or something, find some way to escape.
Yeah.
And so if you can put together a multi-year run as a heel world champion and draw that much money, that is truly remarkable.
Yep.
So even Hogan NWO was what, 2 years?
Hogan was 2 or 3 years, yeah.
I mean, because it started in '96, and then by '98, they were losing steam in '98, and 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So he made it 2 years, but Roman made it 4 years as a heel. And of course, Rick did it for like almost 10 years. So,
but wasn't Rick also back then a heel tweener, sometimes babyface, but tweener, heel?
Yeah, it was heel. Like he wasn't okay. I'd say he was 100% heel probably from like '84 through
91, 92.
Well, he turned face in '89 because Terry Funk attacked him and all of that. So
right.
For about 5 years, from '84 to '89, he was pure heel. And then like before '84, he was he was more of a tweener, and it would depend on who he was facing.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was a traveling world champion, so and he would come into your territory and defend it against whoever your top guy was, and so some places the top guy might have been a heel or whatever, so he worked more like a baby face maybe, but
right.
From '84 to '89, he was a heel all the way.
He's again Mount Rushmore all time wrestling is Ric Flair, definitely. But yeah, I agree with you, man. You and I both agree on this. Rock is definitely the one. And again, I don't want to be about the Rock for the record. If you're looking at it from a perspective of who's needed less, whatever, yeah, it's the Rock. That's simple. So anyway, Rob, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
As always, every week you can hear me on the Mindless Wrestling Podcast with DJ and Jason. And every few weeks you can hear me on my own show, and I'm putting something together, and haven't finished it yet.
Are you still writing?
A little bit. I don't write anywhere as much as I used to. I occasionally I have a couple of kind of ongoing things like I have a thing where I'm like tracking how much time women's wrestling is getting on TV. That's an
Right.
ongoing project. But yeah, I still occasionally do like a show review at
Yeah,
robgenius.com.
I'm starting to miss writing a lot, and I'm really starting to really consider unpacking my Substack again and start writing on a regular basis. Not every day necessarily, but getting back to writing a little bit. I miss it. I really do. The problem is I don't have the patience to do it. The time.
Well, I guess for me, I don't see how people review every week of television.
Well, I
I
can't do
don't
that shit. No, fuck that. No, not doing
I
that
don't see
crap.
how people do that. I don't see how people. There was a time where I tried to review like every monthly pay per view. I did that for a little while, but then um,
If you do under
yeah,
300 words, one thing, but not no.
yeah. So now, I mean, I occasionally do like one of the big four pay per views.
Yeah,
But yeah, I do not see how people do a week of
people still read it
television.
though. I don't get it. People still read it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's insane.
I just because to me, I mean, wrestling shows are 2 or 3 hours every week, and even when they have a really great episode,
Hmm.
like maybe a third of it is just still like filler kind of stuff,
Yeah,
and I don't see how people come up with something, you know, unless they're just kind of manufacturing hot takes about stuff, which some people do. But I don't see how people really, you know, I don't want to do that. So if I don't have anything that I feel is really thoughtful to say about something, I just don't say anything.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Although I see a lot of your work though. Your work is really good. I wish you would write a little more, but again, don't force shit you don't want to force. Totally agree with you on that also too. So I'm with you on that one. Of course, I'm on X, East7 on X, Full Scott Anywhere, Wrestling Podcast, of course. Until the next one, we'll talk to you guys soon and later.